that it's necessary for us to begin to look at the future and know that it's possible that we can have our dream. Yes, it is. Other people have done it, then we can do it. We fail a lot of times. Well, a lot of other folks fail, and eventually they came back and they succeeded. So it's possible we can have what we want. And we know that we want to get it. It's necessary that we align ourselves with people that think like we do. It's necessary we get negative, do-nothing people out of our lives. It's necessary we never stop learning and growing and developing ourselves. It's necessary that we never give up. We know that it's you, it's me. It's being responsible for our stuff and deciding that we're going to keep on keeping on, and that we're going to find a way to win or find a way to make it happen. And we know it's hard. It's not going to be a picnic. Yes, it's hard, and we will do it hard. And once we do it hard and we go through it, we realize it was worth it. And once you discover it was worth it, it is done. It's done. It's done, ladies and gentlemen, before it happens. Well, here's what I'm suggesting to you. That when you're working, you have a wall to break through. Let's say a friend of mine who runs a marathon, and he says, when he's running the 26-mile marathon, he said, let's say that hypothetically, that 18th mile is the wall. He said, Les, when you get there and you're running, he says, everything in you is telling you to stop, to give up. Every muscle is aching, and you're saying to yourself, I can't do it. I can't do it. And you just keep on, and you keep on, and you keep on. It seems like you're moving at slow motion. And then eventually when you break through that 18-mile wall, then you know it's like done, and you're on automatic, and you glide on in. And you know it's there. You know you're going to get to the finish line. And we've all had experiences where we were working on something, and we knew it was possible. And we did those things that were necessary to bring it into reality. We took the responsibility to make it happen. Other people couldn't see it. A lot of people didn't believe it. You were attacked. You were criticized. People were opposing you, but you kept on doing it. It was hard. It was rough. It was difficult. But to you, it was worth it. And eventually you got to a level you know, can nothing stop me now. I'm on the move. I'm on the move. Finally, I'm thinking about a friend of mine who is no longer operating on this dimension. His name was Jack Boland. He had this vision of a church that would serve various types of needs for people, their supportive needs, and helping them in recovery from drugs and alcohol and whatever addictions that they might be involved in. And he was known for bringing in different kinds of speakers. And over a year ago, he was diagnosed as having cancer, and he announced to his congregation that he's going to be taking chemotherapy, and that it was a possibility that the cancer would go in remission, and he was optimistic about that. And sure enough, it did for a year. And one of the things Jack always talked about is that he wanted to have his funeral while he lived. And so he invited a few friends, Wayne Dyer and myself and a few other speakers. He didn't tell us why we were there, but once we gathered there, the church, they told us in the room that Jack is going to announce to the congregation, he's bringing his doctor up. The doctor is going to say that we felt we could keep it in remission. It's out of remission, and he doesn't have much time left. And whatever words you want to say to Jack that you would say if he had made his transition, speak those words now. Well, we were shocked and we were somewhat stunned until Jack got there. They brought him in a wheelchair, and boy, was he courageous, and he had a strong smile, and they helped him up the steps, and he sat behind the podium. And each of us got up and we said a few things about Jack and the impact that he made on our lives. And he said, the doctor, after announcing that Jack didn't have long, he says, doctor, he said, I accept what you say, but it's possible that does not have to be the case. But if it is, I will enjoy life to the very last breath I take, even the chemotherapy. I will enjoy that. And Jack did, ladies and gentlemen. And when they said that all of his vital organs were failing, they called his family and his close church staff to the hospital. and said, he's dying. And so they came and they all gathered in the room. And Jack at that time was unconscious. And he gained consciousness. And he looked at them and he said, with what strength he had, he said, I want to thank you all for being here. You've been a great staff to me. He looked at his sons, and his daughter. He said, you've been a great family. He said, don't feel sorry for me. He said, I'm ready to go. I'm looking forward to the next adventure. And he sat there for a little while, laid there, and he closed his eyes, and he lost consciousness. About an hour and a half later, he opened his eyes, and he looked at them. He said, this is embarrassing. I'm not dead yet. They were laughing through their tears. They said, Jack, you are a character. He said, hey, I hate giving up this kind of control. So they predicted that Jack would die at the end of February. And then on the 2nd, they said, he won't see the light of day. He will be dead by morning. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack died on March 4th. And we believe that even in his dying, Jack sent his congregation a message that I want to give to you with his permission. March 4th is the day he died, and we believe Jack was saying, March 4th. So I say, as you look into the future, while other people are giving up, feeling like victims, feeling powerless, becoming negative, turning on each other rather than to each other, feeling that they can't make it, be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind with the mindset of that it's possible that we can save this generation. It's possible that we can create new industries, a new economy. It's possible that I can find a new profession, a new job. It's possible I can create a new life. And it's necessary that I become actively involved in becoming a positive force in my life and on the planet. And it's me, yes, it's you, it's all of us, pulling together, working together to create this brand new future. And it's going to be hard. Easy is not an option. But if it's hard, we will do it hard. Whatever is required to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. And it's worth it, yes. It's worth whatever we have to do. And once we know that, it is done. It is done. It is done. It is done.
You are an unparalleled motivational preacher. And I use that word very intentionally. You have a way of conveying a message with such chills-inspiring, goosebump-giving power. It's really, really extraordinary to witness, and becomes all that much more powerful knowing that you didn't start there, that wasn't sort of naturally, your beginning, and you've called life a battle for territory.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
That the things that you get in life, Frederick Douglass said, we might not get everything that we fight for, but everything we get, it will be a fight. And I love the quote that life is a fight for territory, and once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. Like getting ready to come here to see you, I want to just, first of all, thank you for the great work that you're doing. I watch you and I study you, and you have had some incredible guests that impacted my life. And preparing to come here, I'm being treated by Cancer Centers of America for fourth stage cancer, which I've been kicking cancer's butt for 27 years. And I've been working on getting a six-pack before getting here. I still got one pack. And I've been working to get some muscles so I can wear my t-shirt, but they weren't large enough, so I wore a long sleeve.
That's amazing, man. Talk to me about cancer. You've had such an upbeat attitude about it. It's really pretty extraordinary. Was that your initial reaction? Did you go through a trough of despair when you first got diagnosed? Like, how have you framed that?
Dr. Alfred Golson, who has since passed, was a very unusual guy. And he told me, he said, Mr. Brown, you have cancer. I said, can you give me a second opinion? He said, yes, and you're ugly too. I said, oh my God. So I didn't have a chance to have fear because, you know, those 3 words, you have cancer, 3 of the most feared words in 7 different languages. I saw it as a fight. And from that time to this time, you know, my PSA was 2,400. And that stands for prostate-specific antigen, and now it's below 0 and metastasized to 7 areas of my body, which was a good thing because 7 is my lucky number. Okay, so I never was fearful that I was going to die from it, and I think that I read something by Dr. Norman Cousins. He wrote a book called The Biology of Hope, and he talked about the fact that when something happens to you, you don't deny it, you defy it. And I was defiant that I'm going to beat this, I'm going to handle this. That there are people who many times when something happens to them, that they embrace it from a place of fear and it takes them out. And L.C. Robinson said, things may happen to you and things may happen around you, but the most important things are the things that happen in you. And you have to stand up inside yourself and deal with it and handle it. So fortunately, that never bothered me, but I had sciatica pain. That had me speaking in unknown tongues. And I was in a wheelchair for several months, speaking from a wheelchair. And it was something that I dealt with that frightened me. Will this ever end? It was 24 hours. I lost a lot of sleep. It was exhausting, going from all types of specialists in and out of the country. And just one day, it stopped. And I'm glad that I'm past that, you know. I feel like when you go through some stuff, there's some certain things that you don't want ever to see again, and that's what I don't want to ever see again. But fear has not been the biggest challenge that I've faced with the things that I've been dealing with in terms of my health.
Well, talk to me about the process that you go through mentally. So there have been a few times in your life in getting to know your story where they seem like really key inflection points. Being told that you were teachable but mentally retarded, that for sure is something that would define most people, and they would have a hard time escaping that. Being told that you have cancer, that it's stage 4, that they don't know how to treat it, like that's something that consumes most people. How do you build that resilience? So maybe by the time you get to cancer, you've already done so much work, so I get maybe how that one you're protected by the mechanisms you've built, but in the beginning, how did you crawl out from under the labels that people were putting on you?
The easiest thing I've done was to get out from under the labels and to live the life that I live. The most difficult thing I've ever done was to believe that I can do it.
What's the difference?
The difference is that when you don't know what's impacting you, and it's something that's holding you down and you're not aware of it. The great anthropologist Margaret Mead was in a restaurant in London, and a guy was serving her and said, "There's several Americans here tonight." And she said, "Is that right?" "Yes." "Let me know when you serve them dessert. I'll tell you exactly how many are here." He said, "Oh, you couldn't possibly." And so he came back and said, "Okay, I've done it." And she got up and she walked around and she came back and she said, "There are around 25 here." And he looked at the roster. "How did you know that?" Say, "In America, we eat differently from you when we eat a dessert. You eat it from the crust toward the tip. We eat it from the tip toward the crust. When you eat a slice of pie, how do you eat yours?"
Definitely, yeah, from the tip back to the crust, for sure.
Yeah, okay, and so there are things that when you, in my situation, when you live in a dominant culture that is designed to destroy your sense of self and your belief in yourself, and you have to learn ways in which you can begin to connect with this power that you have within yourself to handle where you are. The key is to be constantly in a perpetual process of discovering the truth of who you are and fighting constantly to look for ways in which you can escape the inner conversation. I speak to audiences around the world, and I train speakers as well, and I tell them that when you speak, that there's an objective that you want to achieve when you speak to an audience, because how people live their lives is a result of the story they believe about themselves. So you as a speaker, when you speak in this program, when people see you, what you do is distract, dispute, and inspire. You distract people from their current story with your guests and the questions that you ask. Through the process of the ongoing questioning and the way in which they respond and the things they have learned, you dismantle their current belief system and inspire them to create a new chapter with their lives. And so, but that's an ongoing process of constantly interrupting that conversation, what psychologists call your self-explanatory style, because life is going to beat up on you in so many ways, and many things, they come back, you know, negative thoughts and how you feel about yourself, they don't die. They come back once you stop doing the maintenance work on your mind, listening to motivational messages, going to seminars and workshops, spending time quietly listening to the still small voice within. Who am I really? Is this really me? Am I giving my best? Am I just reflecting what's around me? Because all of these various things affect how we show up in life. And so having a strategy to continuously find ourselves reaching higher. Robert Schuller had a book, it's not very popular, but I loved it. It's called Peak to Peak, U-P-E-A-K to P-E-E-K, because you're constantly reaching higher to find out and discover your better self.
And I'm encouraging you, don't rule it out, saying, well, I don't know if you can do it. Well, so what? Eye has not seen. What do you think that means? There's some things that you can do that you've never seen before. We're in a place now where we've never been before. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard. Nor is in the heart of mankind what God has in store for you. What's in you that you're able to do. That's why they have a term called breakthrough, that your life is a breakthrough moment. And so when I think about that and think about what I was going to share with you today, that this is a time. I have a friend named Dr. Stan. They call him Dr. Breakthroughs, Stan Harris. And he talks about living your life in a way in terms of having breakthroughs. And I think we should have those in various areas of our lives, that we must live with a sense of urgency, one, and two, and that's making every moment count. And the other thing is have breakthrough thinking. Look at ways in which in various areas of your life that you have breakthroughs, that you take your performance to the next level. That those things that you've been talking about and you've been operating at this level, but now you're at a place now, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to take it to another level. When I was a kid, the high jump in the Olympics was 6 feet. And a guy named John Thomas was a brother he was a high jumper and had the record in the world. And so during that time when you jumped, as kids, when we played in the backyard, we would have somebody hold a stick and you run and you would just jump over it. And then, but he developed a strategy. Most people would just jumping forward to jump over it. But he developed a strategy that you could sizzle, and what they call the sizzle, that you raise your leg and that front leg and then the other leg come behind it, right? Then there's something that came along called the Fosbury Flop. Same event, but there's a guy, it was named after him. And when he jumped, he was able to raise his body high enough in the air and he would go over the pole head first and bring the body behind him. Same event, but different strategy. And as a result of that different strategy, he was able to maximize his impact. He was able to jump 7 feet that you couldn't do it physically, just using the method that had been used or that approach up to that particular point. Now, well, tell me what you mean, Les. I'm trying to stay with you. Well, here's what I mean. That there's some things that you are doing and that you perhaps have not succeeded using the approach that you now have. And that many people, when they're going after their goals and dreams, they have failure after failure after failure because they are doing something in the same way. I think that's why Einstein said the thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems that this thinking can't solve. And that's when I came to the concept, and I want you to get my book called You Gotta Be Hungry. And so what happened is that as you look at your life, a lot of people, when they fail over and over and over again, using the approach that they now are using, they stop. I'm suggesting change your approach, but don't change your decision. Am I making sense to you? Change your approach. Get some help. I believe ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. And ask for help and don't stop until you get it. Because you've failed at it thus far does not mean that it can't be done by you. It's just that the approach that you're using now does not work. And there's some things that we're supposed to do that many people using the same method, the same team, the same relationships, the same information, the same approach, and they stop saying it can't be done. I remember as a kid, we used to say to illustrate whether or not someone can accomplish something and whether or not they could not, to illustrate the impossibility of them accomplishing something, we would say, oh, you got a chance of doing that as a man going to the moon. Shut up, get away from me. Hey, we've gone to the moon. We don't say that anymore because when I was a kid, it was seen as impossible for man to go to the moon. That's no longer a reality. The Wright brothers, when they were able to create a vehicle that was only up in the air for about 6 seconds. Up to that point, the belief was for centuries, man couldn't fly. Because if God wanted man to fly, he'd have given him wings. You will never fly. You're not a bird. Get used to it. You're not even a pigeon. Get used to it. Might be a pigeon in your thinking, but you cannot fly. That was the belief. But the Wright brothers, who came along, and their father was a minister, and that was his belief, they had breakthrough thinking, and they changed the approach on what it would take to transport our bodies in the air. You came here to do something. Some people know right away. Nina Simone, who climbed up on a piano at 5 and started playing by ear. Some people know right away of what that is. And there are some, the majority, because they have not been exposed or seen something, that they have the abilities of greatness that they have within them that they can do, but they have not seen anybody doing it yet. So they don't even try. That's why one of the most important things we can do for our children is expose them to things so that they can begin to see themselves in other people. When I was at Booker T. Washington High School, when I saw Mr. Leroy Washington, I was exposed to this man who said to me, young man, go in front of the room and work this problem out for me. Oh, sir, I can't do that. Why not? I'm not one of your students. Look at me. Yes, sir, go and do what I'm asking you to do anyhow. I can't, sir. And then the other students started laughing, saying, he's DT. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. Wesley is smart. He's DT. He asked, what's DT? He's the dumb twin. And I said, I am, sir. And he came from behind his desk and he looked at me. He said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And so how people live their lives is a result of the story they believe about themselves. And because I was called the dumb twin, because when I was in the 5th grade, I was put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade, and Mrs. Mary Ford Williams, who was the principal at Douglas Elementary School in Overtown in Miami, came in and said, please point out the kids that are causing all of the problems. And I was among those. They can't learn. We're going to put them in a special class by themselves. The kids called us the Dodos. I was in the Dodo ward. Bullying didn't just start. That's how they bullied us. We were in the Dodos ward. We ate together, and we were in the class by ourselves. We only went with other kids to the cafeteria at eating time, at lunchtime, and physical education. Other than that, the Dodos were all in one room because the belief was we could not learn. We were dumb. And then this man spoke. Because now in your Dodo ward, they don't give you anything to do but entertain each other, and you color, and you play, and you clown around. Because the belief was, there ain't gonna be nothing. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm going deep on you today. I'm laughing, but I'm dropping some stuff. As these young folks say, I'm dropping some knowledge up in here and teach you how to get unstuck, how to reach your goals, how to use your voice, how to make money with your voice from home. More people are working from home than in buildings now. Before the coronavirus, the corporations found a way because of technology that people can work from home, and they don't have to pay for those large buildings and their maintenance and the air conditioning or the heat. It's economically more feasible for people to work from home. Let's think about that. So this is the new economy that's being generated from home. You want to learn how to make money from home with your knowledge, with your skills, with your dream, with your voice, with your story. If you're ready to live life on your terms, come alive. You got some stuff. You're God's miracle child. You have some value. That's why you're still here. You think it's some accident that you still got a pulse, that you're not taking a dirt nap. Today is the best day of your life. What do you mean, Mr. Brown? I'm in debt up to my ears. What do you mean? I've got all types of illnesses, the conquers and the bunkers. What do you mean by that? If you don't think it's the best day of your life, try missing one. I didn't bite my tongue. I said, this is the best day of your life. Use it, take action to maximize it. Use it effectively. And when you think about yourself here, you have favor with God. There's some things we take for granted. Being here is not a given. You're here because you have a favor with God. You've been protected. You've been shielded. Nothing will prosper. None of your enemies, none of the adversities, none of the hard times in life, none of those things will conquer you, because greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. You are more than a conqueror. Ooh, that's some powerful word up in there. Yeah, and you're supposed to live right here, right now. But this is the time you got to learn some new stuff. Money is being generated in a new way. How do you know this? Because I make some of it every day. And I enjoy it. I feel better when I have money. Yes, I do. I don't have to take my blood pressure medication as often. Yeah, I feel so much better when I don't owe peoples. And I don't have to disguise my voice when they call me. May I speak to Les Brown, please? I'm sorry, but he's not here. Oh, boy. I had that down pat. I know I'm not the only one. Yeah. They have caller ID now. We can see who's calling us now. Get ready to write a new chapter for your life. Get ready to live a life that will outlive you. Get ready to rob the cemetery of your gifts and talents and abilities. Get ready to be in a fight mode. Life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. Stuff's gonna happen to you. Things are coming after you right now. Tragedies, hard times, sickness, pain, all kinds of things are coming after you right now, including blessings, including opportunities. And you want to take advantage of the opportunity and the lifetime of the opportunity. Make a move for you. Make a move for your dream. Make a move for a better future. Don't sit there watching and wasting time looking at Netflix and all that other foolishness out there. A friend of mine said, oh man, I got 500 channels on my TV. Who's got time to watch 500 channels? Herein my Father glorified that ye bear much fruit. Excuse me? No. Watching garbage day in and day out. How do you expect things to get better for you? People say, oh, garbage in, garbage out. That's a lie. Garbage in, garbage stays. It makes you unproductive. It makes you cynical. You get in a depressed state of mind. That's not real. Garbage in, garbage stays, and it shows up in your attitude, in your behavior. It blurs your vision of what's possible for you. It's a distraction. My son John Wesley was right. People pay more attention to their distractions than their destiny. You have a destiny. There's something, there's a work, there's a greater work that you're supposed to do. These things ye shall do, and greater things shall you do. In fact, you are here to do the greater things. And if you don't know that, ask somebody. Watch people who are doing the greater work and get around them and learn from them. That's what time we're here. That's the purpose. Not here just to have a good time. Yeah, you can have a good time. I have a ball. I enjoy every day. When they come to see my ashes, they'll see me smiling from the ashes. Yeah, they cremate me to hear me say, ooh, I'm stuff inside me. You make me randy, baby. He's got issues. Somebody get him some help, Tyrone. That's my squirrel friend. Tyrone said, you kicking some knowledge right now. I see, why you laugh so much? Because these walls are closing in on me, that's why. Because I can't go nowhere. The virus we've been fighting already, it's still here. And now they say there's a mutation, another one that spreads easier and kills faster. So you want to know why I'm talking to squirrels? Do you really want to know that, huh? Why don't you come visit me? I'll see you through the window, and I'll put my water hose on you through my window. My doorbell rings. Who is it? Ooh, I have a window I look through. Guys, you got a box? Boy, they take off. I come out, I do it like this as I get my box. And the UPS man be looking at me and say, Lord, that would touch. I crack up when I come back in the house. I have on my little Mickey Mouse underwear. I thought by now somebody would call the police. Listen, there's a senior citizen. He's outside getting his boxes from UPS, and he got on some Mickey Mouse underwear. Can you help us out here a little bit? Indecent exposure or something. Oh my God. You know laughter is good for you. 1 minute of anger. I studied psychoneuroimmunology. Psycho, the mind, neuro, the immune system. Oh boy, the nervous system. I studied that. 1 minute of anger weakens your immune system for 4 to 5 hours. You ever notice when you get sick, people owe you money, they don't call much. They're praying that you die. So they won't have to pay. Say, well, he won't need that way he's going. I remember when I got sick when I was in Mamie, and Miss Range, she came to visit me. I said, Miss Range, she owned Range Funeral Home. I said, you know what, I appreciate your kindness, but I really don't appreciate you coming to visit me because I feel like you trying to check out my measurements. No, funeral directors and people who own funeral homes should go see people who are sick? Absolutely not. That's inappropriate. That's not nice. I thought she was checking me out. What's going on with him today? Sometimes you got to laugh. Yes, to keep from crying. I said, Lord, wake me up and tell me it's a dream. They got a mutation now and it's spread easier, and we got to watch out for that one, and we got to watch out for this one, and we haven't got enough vaccines and enough arms, and I got both my arms up now, and I'm scared. I put them back down because I'm scared if I get a vaccine shot, I might grow a new ear out of my neck. Ooh, ooh. No, man. Your story has value. Your voice has value. You got to learn in the new economy how to earn money virtually. And this is how you do it. How to come through this computer and be able to, in the attention economy, how to attract attention, how to hold the attention through the experience that you're able to generate, and how to direct it, how to influence it, and generate moolah. Well, boy, if you're willing to learn, the possibilities unlimited. The possibilities of what you can do. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered the heart of mankind what God has in store for you. If you know how to attract attention, hold the attention, and direct the attention. Yeah, that's why it's a new economy, because everybody don't know how to do it. See, when you just give information, that only impacts 2 areas of the brain. But when you know how to create an experience with a story, with your personality, with your passion, with your laughter, with quotes, and a variety of other things, that impacts 5 areas of the brain. That fights dementia, Alzheimer's, and it makes you profitable. Yes, because there are people who want to invest in you. I just talked to someone who said, you know what? I want to put an extra $1 million in your pocket this year. I said, let the Lord have his way. Look at God. Yep. I said, come on, brother. Oh, yeah. Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Yeah, I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. No. Sometimes you need some laughter, need a smile to distract you from all this stuff. You know, the air is different right now. The air is different. Maximize this. The drama has been minimized. It's just for a moment now. It's just for a moment, but you can breathe easier. You're not waking up saying, anything happened today? No, it's just for a moment. Hard times have an expiration date, and so do good times. Let's take advantage of it. Let's get together and make something great happen. Let's get together. Let me help you get rich. Why? Because you feel better when you got some money. Do you hear me? Don't you let people tell you money is the root of all evil. People who said that didn't have any. No, he didn't go there. Yes, he did. Hello. How can he have so much energy at 75 and 76 on February the 17th? Because I love what I do. I love it. I love changing lives. I love making you laugh. I love making you feel good. I love inspiring you. I love challenging you to get out of your comfort zone. I love telling you, rob the cemetery of your talents, because somebody inspired me. This is what I was born to do. This is what I do. Now, don't be mad at me. What are these faces? I don't know. Okay. Ooh. All right, JJ. All right, Jonathan. Okay. Having a fat flashlight. Excuse me, a hot flash. I call them power surges. Have a wonderful day today. You deserve it, darling. This is your day. I didn't want to wait till 12 noon. I wanted to get it out now. And let me share this with you. I said it earlier. The people that you interact with most, your inner circle, I like to call it. If you look around your inner circle, family members and friends, if they don't inspire you to create the next greatest version of yourself, that's not a circle of power. That's a cage that's restricting your potential for discovering the next greatest version of yourself. Today you have an opportunity. Choose ye this day whom ye shall serve, to make a choice so that the future you, listen to me closely, the future you will say, whoa, I'm so glad that you made that choice. This has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. That's my story. Invest in yourself. You're worth it. If you had a choice between your parents or your telephone, you had to get rid of one, which would you want to get rid of? My parents? Oh my God. This telephone, it's an addiction. I have a friend, and Mike Sims, he stopped looking at television for a year, and he became a millionaire. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna just focus on reading and meditating and journaling and exercise and praying and being focused on my dream and working with people that fit in this category, that they are positive, they are purposeful. That means they have a purpose and they're going in the direction that I'm going. They are productive. They're working on their stuff and they're profitable. They're making some stuff happen. This is some time, these blessings that God has granted us, we are to make something happen. We've got to create something that shows that this era is the most profitable, most productive, and purpose-driven era in our history because of how we've been blessed, because what God has bestowed upon us. We got a fresh start. And when you have a fresh start, you want to take advantage of that, doing the right thing, being excited about it. I remember Dr. Otis Moss, who was a classmate of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He said, blind celebration and empty sentimentality will not keep the dream alive. What is your dream? I remember Dr. Johnny Coleman out of Chicago, and she asked, what is your dream? It said, when is it a man or woman dies? And the answer was, when their dreams die. Some people never had a dream. They think in terms of getting a job. Well, that's not an option now. This is an entrepreneur's era. You have to create your own job. And you got it like that, whether you recognize that or not. New industries are in you. You were born with greatness in you and dreams in you. the ability in you to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. How do you know these things? Because you've been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth. I got something to back me up with that. Is that right? Yes, the Word of God. He doesn't lie. You got it like that. Yeah. That's something. Yeah, I've got to decide to get excited about that. Somebody called me. Are you watching the playoff? Watching somebody live their dreams? No, I know playoff what? Excuse me? Are you serious? This is our time. This is your time. I want you to take the time and think about that and reflect on your life and say, speak, Lord, if you don't know what you're supposed to do next. If you don't know how you're going to take advantage of this time, say, speak, Lord. Thy servant heareth thee, and he will. He will. He will. Just get still. Go for a walk or go for a drive, or just unplug the computer to turn it off and turn your phone off and just get still and create an opening in your thoughts. Don't worry about anything. Just be open. Just ask, speak to me, talk to me. I got a fresh start. Tell me what to do. Lead me. Listen to your heart. Lead me. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. You are blessed. Thank you, Lord. Lead me. You said you'll never leave me nor forsake me. I need you now. Lead me. Tell me what to do. If I knew what to do, I would not be in this place. Help me interrupt my thinking, hack my brain, and allow me to hear your untarnished and unpolluted guidance. Please, Lord. Please, Lord. Thank you, Father, for this time. We have a fresh start. Your people need to be reminded, including me. I'm in that number. I got up this morning saying, what will I say? I'm speaking to myself. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, and I'm sharing the conversation that you have put in me. We have a fresh start, a new beginning. There are people who have read history. We have a chance to write history. You have positioned us to do that. Oh, yes, you have. Yes. Thank you for this fresh start. Thank you for the courage to answer the call, the courage to be mindful that you're ordering our steps, the courage to call forth those things that be not as though they were, the courage to stand, the courage to have the faith and to know all is well. We give thanks. We give thanks. And so it is.